You know, we all love a good hero story. The big quest, the monster, the triumphant return home. But what if that story, the one we see everywhere, is actually hiding a huge conflict, a clash between two totally different ideas of what it even means to be a hero? Let's get into it.
So I want to kick things off with a pretty provocative question. What if our favorite stories, the ones we grew up with, aren't actually making us stronger? What if they're subtly teaching us to be, well, weak? It's a wild thought, but it's at the very heart of what we're going to unpack today.
All right, first, let's talk about the story we all know by heart, the hero's journey. This is the blueprint, right? It's so universal they call it the monomyth. It's basically the DNA of everything from ancient myths to Star Wars.
And the structure is actually pretty simple. It's this elegant circle. The hero leaves their normal, boring world, they face a bunch of trials in some crazy new place, and then, eventually, they come back home. But here's the key. They come back transformed, ready for that final act. So what is that final act? Well, it's all about healing. The hero brings back some kind of elixir, a treasure or wisdom or a special power to fix their broken home and restore balance. It's a really comforting idea, right? To make things right again. But what if right again is actually selling us short?
And this is where we take a hard turn, because some thinkers, most famously Nietzsche, looked at this beloved story and saw something dangerous. They didn't see a recipe for heroism. They saw kind of sweet, comforting poison. I mean, listen to that language. Saccharine poison. It's this idea that something tastes sweet and feels good, but it's actually rotting you from the inside. But a trap for who, exactly? And there it is. The critique is that this whole journey is a trap for anyone whose main goal is just to fit back in, to find safety by rejoining the group, the herd. It's not about becoming a true individual. It's about becoming acceptable to everyone else again.
Okay, so why such a harsh takedown? I mean, what's so bad about a story of healing and coming home? Well, the critique goes a lot deeper, right into the psychology of it all.
So the argument is that this journey is basically a comfort blanket for people who are afraid of the unknown. It teaches you to follow the rules, rely on outside help, like a wise old mentor, and ultimately your big reward is just fitting back in. Nietzsche had a name for this type of person, the last man. Someone who just wants comfort and security, not real, earth-shattering greatness.
So, if the hero's journey is a trap, then what's the alternative? This is where we get into a totally different way of being. Not a journey of returning, but a path of radical, defiant creation. And this, right here, is the fundamental split. The hero sees a broken system and tries to fix it. The creator sees a broken system and says, nope, time to build a new one from scratch. The goal isn't to mend what exists, but to create something the world has literally never seen before. Just let that sink in for a second. The creator doesn't come back with a magic potion to heal the village. The creator is the medicine, precisely because they are willing to shatter the old, tired values that made the village sick to begin with. It's a destructive act, yeah, but it's a creative destruction. But here's the thing. This path isn't some grand adventure out in the world. The dragons aren't in a cave somewhere. They're inside your own head. The creator's biggest fight is an internal one, against all the forces that want to weigh your spirit down. First up, you've got to face your own shadow. This is that little voice inside that's always whispering, come on, just take the easy way out. This is too hard. Let's just go back to what's comfortable. It's basically the champion of mediocrity living in your brain. Then there's the soothsayer. This is the voice on the outside. It's the cynic, the nihilist, the person who tells you, why are you even trying? It's all pointless. Nothing you do is ever going to matter. It's that toxic worldview that just wants you to give up.
But the final boss in this internal battle, that's the spirit of gravity. This is that deep, soul-crushing feeling of resignation. It's the force that makes life feel heavy, pointless, and just not worth the effort. And to become a creator, you have to defy that gravity. You have to learn how to be light, how to dance. Okay, so let's say you defeat all these inner demons. What's the final test? It's not about slaying some mythical beast. It's one of the most intense and, frankly, terrifying thought experiments ever dreamt up. It's called eternal recurrence. Imagine a demon appears and tells you this: your life, exactly as you've lived it, with every single joy, every ounce of pain, every mistake, you're going to live it again and again and again for all of eternity, with absolutely nothing changed. Now really think about that. Could you do it? And not just put up with it, but welcome it? Could you look at the whole messy, beautiful, terrible story of your life and joyfully scream, "Yes, bring it on again"? That is the ultimate test.
Because if you can pass that test, if you can honestly and enthusiastically say yes, you become what's called a yay-sayer. It means you've so completely owned your life and created your own meaning that you wouldn't change a single second. At that moment, you become a true creator.
So, at the end of the day, we're left with these two incredibly powerful and competing ideas for how to live a heroic life: the path of healing and going home, or the path of shattering things and creating something new. Let's just put them side by side one last time.
This really lays it all out, doesn't it? The hero's journey is all about restoring balance. The big virtue is healing the community, and the end game is returning to the safety of the herd. On the other side, the creator's path is about forging new values. Its highest virtue is self-mastery, and the outcome isn't a final destination, it's a state of constant growth, of perpetual becoming. And that brings us to the big question, the one I want to leave you with. When you look at the world today, with all of its problems, which kind of hero do you think we need more? The one who can restore our old ways and bring back a familiar balance? Or the one who's brave enough to shatter those old ways and build a future that we can't even imagine yet? The choice is ours.